against we had a closed-door scrimmage with Utah State, and we won the game. We played well, but we certainly didn't play at the speed we felt like we needed to play at. And the exhibition game against Carroll, I didn't think we played nearly at the speed. So this last 2 or 3 really good practices we've cranked up the speed. So I knew we were going to have some turnovers. 17 turnovers is not bad, but it's when you had the turnovers that's bad, because in a game that fast, I felt like between 10 missed free throws and 17 turnovers, we left 20 points on the floor with the way we can score. And there were points where you had 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, 4-on-3s, and just being able to see and make that play, which we've done a pretty good job of doing that from Italy up until this point. But we will settle into the speed and settle into officiating, settle into having large crowds at games and stuff, and in time, that'll be a little bit smoother. But I was really pleased with just how hard we played, particularly defensively. You saw a team that is really good man-to-man. We full court trap. We trapped out of the zone on the wings. We trapped the corners. We threw a lot of different things we feel like we can keep teams off balance. Just felt like we had opportunities to capitalize, to push that score. We're up 19 and felt like you should have been up 25 or 30 in the game if you had to capitalize on some of the transition plays that were there. So,
is that something we'll see all season long, defensively, switching into zone, full court press, half court press? Is that something?
Yes, it is, and more so, we did a lot of what I call made miss. We were in man-to-man on makes. On misses, and we're in the zone on the makes. So we completely kept them off balance until a great player like Hall just took the ball, came down the floor, and shot it over the top of you. So when you're that good, you can do that. But to answer your question, yes.
With Hall and number 13, obviously just having very good shooting nights, were you otherwise pretty satisfied with your defense?
I was very satisfied. That team shot 39 threes. And again, your defense can put a lot more pressure on people when your offense does what it's supposed to do, because now all of a sudden you got a team playing your pace to catch up, then maybe they'll take some bad shots and things like that. So I felt like, again, the big difference in the game, our defense was really solid. It was the unforced turnovers where we had opportunities to put points on the board, and we'll get that cleaned up.
You worry about the time frame with how long you will adjust to the speed of the play when you're starting a freshman point guard?
No, not at all. I thought Malachi, for his first game as a freshman, to almost have a double-double was pretty good. He made some mistakes, but he's just a freshman, and I really feel good about him because he's extremely smart and really understands the game. He's really a student of the game, so he will look at tape and clean up his mistakes. For this first game to have that energy, to get running like that, that's just going to take some time. So I feel like, in time he'll be great.
Obviously, a breakout game for Darian. Is he capable of hitting 20 routinely or regularly, or could this be representative?
Again, for us to have a good season, Darian, Charles Callison, Connor Clifford, those guys have to step up along with Josh and Ike, and Malachi has to be solid. We need games out of Robo, Robert Franks. He had 21 points in 21 minutes in our scrimmage of Utah State. So Darian has consistently gotten better and better and better. If he's going to score 20 a night, probably not, but he's certainly going to be somebody that you're going to have to game plan for, because he can shoot it, he can put it on the floor. He allows us to play small ball and go play really fast. So he gives us an opportunity to be very dynamic on the floor.
Connor Clifford opened up the second half with some very strong intensity, rejecting balls. I believe he had 6 of the first 8 points. Do you feel like your guards did a good enough job tonight at getting Josh and Connor involved down low?
Well, they did in the half court. You got to realize the game is played in transition so much, and Connor's not in transition with us, and Josh is not in transition with us. But when we had opportunities to go inside and give them plays, yes, can we go in there more? Yes, and in time they'll figure out that balance too. But I really liked the way Connor played. His jump hooks, his jump shot, his defense. He did a lot of good things in the game.
You mentioned the turnovers and the missed free throws. Generally speaking, was this game probably closer than it should have been?
If we shoot the free throws like we have from the summer on, we were 18 for 18 the last game. We don't miss a lot of free throws in practice, so call it the pace of the game, call it the first game, whatever. But I feel like we're going to be an excellent free throw shooting team. And then again, if you just convert, just take away half the turnovers and convert half of those, that's the difference. There's an extra 10 points at the free throw line and an extra 10 points on the floor. If you just cut your turnovers in half and shoot the same percentage and convert half of those, there's your point. And those, I'm not talking jump shots. I'm talking basketball plays for layups, wide open shots. So we'll get there.
Ernie, what's the explanation of having the players sort of stay back on free throws? Is that something that you saw last year where you just didn't want to get burned with people trying to rebound on free throws and set up your defense?
Well, if you go and look at, particularly for us, we look at a lot of tape. If you look at percentages of the number of time there's a miss and we get a rebound, you're wasting a lot of time sitting in there. As long as we can shoot them and guys are comfortable, we'll put one guy in it just so you're comfortable, but it does give us a chance to set up our press because we press you on free throws whether you make it or miss it. A lot of teams in the country don't even come close to doing what I just said. On a missed free throw, we're in position to put the press up and it really throws teams out of whack.
Do you hope to be able to give Connor more than 15 minutes, or is that kind of the range you'd like to see him at?
Game one, it was big. The big thing here was, number one, you got the win. Okay. Number two, I love the pace, and hopefully people can see we're a lot faster. Number three, hopefully people can see our defense is going to be a lot better. Number four, hopefully you can see we play more of a rhythm. We're not as herky-jerky guys standing around holding the ball as much. So as you start to progress now, you can do more things and guys will figure out more things. But yeah, Connor will play more in games where there's another big guy that stays in the game. When they shrink down to 6'7" and start running all out on the perimeter, that's hard for him to do. And usually that happens in your preseason games. When you start getting to a Kansas State, a Creighton, certainly when you get the conference play, now there's a big guy on the floor that stays right in the paint. Now he can play more. We'll need for him to play more, if that makes sense to you.
Are you comfortable with your rotation now? It seemed like you were still kind of playing around a little bit there. A lot of guys playing. The last time you talked about wanting to stay with a 9 or 10 man rotation.
We have 10 guys. We have 4 we're going to redshirt that are sitting over here. Out of the 10 guys, 9 of them play. Perfect rotation. Just perfect. And sometimes there'll be a 10th guy in the game too. And a lot of that'll determine, again, guys can move in that 8, 9, 10 spot by depending on what goes on in practice and who's on their game and those types of things. So I'm happy with my rotations. I'm not happy with the production I got out of a couple spots on the floor. And that's why I want to look at film and figure out why can you not make this play. Maybe it's speed, maybe not ready to play. And we'll have those conversations later.
Is it a challenge for players who are used to having, set players they go to, having to see different faces?
No, not in this day and age with the way we play. We put a lot of different lineups together in practice. The starters are the same starters that started in Italy, with the exception of Charles Callison started in front of Darian King. Outside of that, they've been playing together as starters ever since Italy, Utah State, exhibition. The starters will stay the same next week. So sometimes our second unit beats the starters in practice. So the competition is really good, and we'll keep that competition at a high level. And therefore, again, if you're not ready to play and somebody moves in and it's on their game, you go with them. You go with the guys that are ready and guys that are feeling it and guys that are locked in mentally.
Ike last year, for most of the season, was your point guard. What have you seen with him and Malachi, spacing-wise, and just kind of gelling together in the backcourt since Italy?
You know, the good thing about Ike, he can play the point, the 2, the 3, and if need be, we can play really small, put him at the 4, we'll even do that. The thing about it is, he's still a point guard. Just think of the number of times that the ball was either scored or came off the rim, it went to Malachi, and he hit ahead to Ike. He's just the point guard on his other side of half court. With the defense on his heels, now he's got to make point guard decisions. As you saw, there were some decisions there to be made, and we left points out on that floor. So he's still a point guard. So it's kind of pick which way you want to do it. Do you want to get the outlet and throw it ahead to Malachi and let Malachi make the plays? Or do you want Malachi to throw it ahead to you and let you make the plays? That's just the comfort thing. We have him right where he needs to, because I think he's going to be really good catching that ball at half court with a head of steam with you back on your heels.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.